GPS cameras or flags or whatever, just be aware that sometimes mere tourists like us get exactly the same thing, both going up and down the mountains, and it can be pretty scary if a half drunk or three-quarters drunk Spaniard sticks out a huge big flag, a metre or so square, and you're rolling down the mountain at 50 or 60 kilometres an hour, and suddenly you fly through this flag. If something like that happens, and it can, the best course of action is, because you're now aware it might, if you want to hit your brakes, fine, just go straight through the flag and keep a straight line. Don't try and dodge it, because if you do, you're likely to fall off. They'll normally pull them out of the way at the very last second, because they're used to doing it. They're used to scaring the crap out of us, but just keep a straight line. That's the only safe way of doing it. The minute you try and dodge the flag, you're either going to find someone coming up the other side of the road you run into, or there'll be pedestrians in the way and so on. So if you do get that, just keep riding in a straight line. If you're a bit wary of it, just slow down enough so that it's not going to become too much of an issue. They do get a bit crazy, and when they're really passionate, but they usually are pretty intoxicated too. When we first get there, we'll probably head up the mountain. At least a couple of us will go right to the top. Maybe one of us will probably stay there, and then one of us will come back down a little way, maybe a couple of kilometres. You certainly don't see the finish there, although you'll probably be struggling to see too much of the finish anyway, because it will be a really busy mountain today. The crowds you'll find are going to be biggest right at the top, and also right towards the bottom, where people can walk there fairly easily. So the first couple of kilometres are likely to be pretty busy, and you find that on most mountain stages, and right at the top will be pretty busy. So just be aware of that. Probably is a pretty good technique if you want to see the full climb and have a look at the finish area, to do that and then come back down a couple of kilometres, and then that makes it much easier to get down the mountain before the crazy drivers start to come off as well, and also get you back to Lourdes at a pretty reasonable hour, remembering that it's a nice ride back to Lourdes as well. And we're looking reasonably lucky with the weather so far. I mean, it's certainly cloudy and overcast up on top of the mountain, so arm warmers would be a good idea. If you've got gloves, I'd stick them in the back pocket. If you've got a wind jacket, I'd definitely have that handy. If you haven't, well, yeah, we've told you enough times. But yeah, if you take any of that sort of clothing, it'll be a good idea. It's not a really long descent, not as long as the Tourmalet and some of the others that will do, but it can get quite cold quite quickly, so just be aware of that.